Hi guys, so this is a tutorial for how to make this crochet bobble stitch shawl. It's made in solid granny stitch, so just simple double crochets, a repeat of 3 rows of double crochets and a row of bobble, and that's it. This is the repeat for the shawl, and it's made in Lion Brand Landscapes and Volcano. And I use a 9mm hook, and it measures 69 inches wide and 33 inches long, and I ended with a row of bubbles because I think that gives it a nice edge. And you can of course make it a little shorter and here or wherever you'd like. And these are the colors. They don't necessarily show very nice on a mobile phone camera, but they are really gorgeous colors, and I just love every color that pops up. And it looks like I've put a lot more effort into this than I really did, because partly because of the colors, so it gives you the illusion that I've maybe changed colors every row, or that every row is different, but it's just a repeat of double crochets and bobble stitches. So, and I turn, so for this row I've turned, so it looks slightly different, and basically it's just really pretty and really pleasurable to work with, because you never know what you're gonna get in the next row. And the beginning is very simple, so we start with chain 3. So here's my ball of color. Make a slip knot and start with chain 3 and join with a slip stitch to the first chain, and you formed a ring. So now chain 3 and 2 double crochets into the ring, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into the ring, and now this is row 1 finished. Now row 2 we chain 1, so the first 2 rows will be different, and then from row 3 onwards it's just a repeat of the same pattern. So row 2 is chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch. I wanted to make these 2 bubbles at the top so that you can see that the repeat is starting right from the beginning. Bubbles, 3 double crochet rows and bubbles, so that's why I thought I would make bubbles in this row. So after you've single crocheted in the first in the same stitch, now let's make our bubble. It's going to be a double crochet four together. So yarn over, insert hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop and yarn over, pull through 2. This is your partial double crochet. And now let's make 3 more partial double crochets And I find it easier if I just count now. If I start counting, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you have your 4 plus 1, 5 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all of them, and single crochet in the next stitch. And now we arrived to the chain 1, so we chain 1, then we skip 1, and we single crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet 4 together, which is also called a bobble, in the next stitch. So one mistake not to make is don't forget to crochet into top of chain 3. Whenever you've made a chain 3, you will have to crochet into the top of chain 3 at the end of next row, because every chain 3 counts as a post. So this is a granny stitch with 3 posts, for example. So if we did not crochet into top of chain 3, that would mean as though we're not counting it as a stitch, but you can have a granny stitch with just 2 posts. So we are crocheting single crochet to top of chain 3, and this is the end of the row. So you have 2 bubbles here. Now row 3 is chain 3 and turn and 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and double crochet in every stitch, but when you come across the chain 1, you will be making 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in this chain 1 space, and you will be making 3 double crochets in the last stitch. So double crochet in every stitch, when you arrive to your chain 1 space, make 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, then chain 1 and another 2 double crochets in the same chain 1 space, and double crochet in every stitch, resumes, and 3 double crochets in the last stitch. Row 4 now will be the same as row 3, but your last stitch will be the top of chain 3. So we'll be making 3 double crochets in the top of chain 3. So chain 3, turn, and 2 double crochets in the same stitch, then double crochet in every stitch, but make make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and don't forget that this is your last stitch and this is your top of chain 3, which will now become your last stitch. So make 3 double crochets in the top of chain 3. So I'm making 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and double crochet in every stitch. And when you arrive to your chain 3, make 3 double crochets in the top of chain 3. So your shawl is working up really fast. Now row 5 is the same as row 4. So chain 3, turn 2 double crochets in the same stitch, double crochet in every stitch, and when you arrive at your chain 1 space, then make 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space, and resume making double crochet in every stitch, and make 3 double crochets in the top of chain 3. Row 6 is where you start making your bobble row that you're going to repeat every 4th row. So 3 rows of double crochets, 1 row of bobble. So row 6 is chain 1, turn and single crochet in the same stitch, and double crochet 4 together, which we will call a bobble, and the next stitch, yarn over, insert the hook, make a partial double crochet 4 times, yarn over, pull through all loops. Now single crochet in the next stitch 2 times, and a bobble. Single crochet in the next stitch 2 times, and a bobble, and keep going until you reach chain 1 space, so before the chain 1 space, after you've made your last bobble on this side, you'll notice that you'll have 1 stitch left, so single crochet in that stitch. Now chain 1 and skip 1 and single crochet in the next stitch, and again the bobble, single crochet, bobble, single crochet until the end of the row. Now when you arrive nearly at the end of the row, you can see you have one last stitch left plus the chain 3. So let make a bubble in the last stitch and a single crochet to top of chain 3. This is your row 6 complete, and when you end your shawl you can leave the bubble row as your last row if you like. So this is a beginner friendly pattern if you're comfortable with making a bubble stitch, and I've used about 6 balls of Lion Brand landscapes in Volcano, each ball being 100 grams, and this is quite a large and generous size cozy shawl, triangle shawl, and I've shown you how to make all the necessary rows. After you've made your first 2 rows, it becomes a repeat. So this is the last row of the repeat that I wanted to show you. The next row is again what you've made so far. So it's gonna be a row of double crochets and placing 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in the chain 1 space, and always remember 3 double crochets in the last stitch, chain 3 and 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and then the next row is, because you've just made a chain 3, so in the next row you'll be chain 3 here, you'll be making the same row of double crochets and remembering to crochet into the top of chain 3. And the only thing I would say is count. It helps if at the beginning you at least you count that you have the same amount of posts on either side of the chain 1 space, and that's all really. See that you have the same amount of posts on one side as you have on the other side. And so this is your shawl, and I hope you really like this pattern, and that I hope that you love your shawl, and see you in my next pattern. Bye.